Have you ever wished everyone on your team would get along better? Have you ever loved the dynamic on your team, but then a new person joined and it ruined everything? Have you ever wondered how that one team you were on seemed to find a way to get past their differences and achieve great things? If you will never work in a group again or have no interest in team dynamics, skip this episode and come back for the next one. But if, like me, you just really love the feeling of a team that operates like a well-oiled machine and would love to learn more about what happens when it does and doesn't, stick around. In today's episode of No More Illusions, we will reveal a trap that many likable leaders fall into. We'll share the mistake they make when assembling teams and what they can do instead to unlock their team's full potential. Welcome to No More Illusions. I'm your host, Joe Kwon, the Connection Counselor. Every episode, we try to bring you more clarity so you can soar. Today's illusion is everyone on the team has to agree in order to be successful. Because I'm generally a conflict-avoidant person, this just makes so much sense to me. I want it to be true. And what's the easiest way to avoid conflict in a group? Generally, it's to hire people who are similar and get along from the get-go. However, there's a serious trade-off. Although those people may get along better, that strength is also a weakness because they may have too similar of a perspective and their experiences may be so alike, the thing that helps them get along actually limits your ability to have a team which can think in slightly different ways and leverage the power of having actual different people, right? So it's like replicating one person 5 times. So you really get one idea across 5 people versus having 5 people who, of course, there's some overlap, but let's just exaggerate, and they each have 5 different ideas. So you get much more ability to surface, find, and execute on good ideas. And this is something that I can find a little bit annoying, but I need this and everyone needs this. You have more people in the group to shoot down your ideas when they're garbage, or to be skeptical, or just raise a hand and to challenge ideas to make them better. Now, neither is better than the other, but you can see that having just people who are like each other has an upside and downside, and having people who are very much not like each other has an upside and a downside. Let's talk a little bit more about the downside. Well, the automatic downside is when you have people who are very different from each other and have different experiences, it can make it a lot harder for them to see eye to eye. It can make it harder on the day-to-day operations for things to run as smoothly because, we did it this way over here, but no, we do it this way over here. All those things can make it a little bit more difficult in terms of how people get along and how the group operates. But what if there were a third option that really kicked butt? So I was reading this book, Hidden Potential by Adam Grant, and I think I was rereading it. I must have read it a long time ago because some of the stories seemed kind of familiar. But one thing that really stuck out for me this time on this read was his sort of research that found more pro-social behavior makes for better teams. Pro-social just meaning, when you have a disagreement or someone has a different idea, you listen, you get along well, the things that they try to teach us or instill in us in kindergarten, right? To be a good member of the team, to be kind, to listen. And they also found, really interestingly to me, that when they studied the performance of teams, the teams with more women, and don't tell my wife, the teams with more women performed better. Now, whether it's a woman or a man, have you ever noticed that sometimes on a team, there is someone who's like the glue that holds the team together? They're the one that it's really intangible. It's not like a specific role they have even or a thing they do, but they just make everything better and run better together. And they sort of know how to get the people who don't agree to agree or to not disagree as much. And they know how to make things exciting. And when they leave, the team kind of falls apart or at least fails to work together as well as they used to. So one of the reasons why they theorized teams with more women perform better was because women are more likely, whether it's cultural or expectations or whether it's just something about being a woman, they are more likely to engage in these pro-social behaviors. So now you have a team with 2 men and 2 women, 50% of that team is going to lean more pro-socially, just assuming perhaps that the men are not as pro-social. And then if you have a team that's 3 men and 1 woman, well, now the woman is the only one with the pro-social behavior. So then maybe they get drowned out, or it's just harder for them to find support to keep the team together and listening to each other and running well. Now, I might challenge all of you leaders out there to say that you shouldn't rely on someone else to be that pro-social person. At a minimum, that person has to be you. You need that in your toolkit. Don't outsource that to anyone else. If you hire people like that, kudos. It's great, and you can lean on them as well, but don't rely on them as the sole person who has the ability to do that. This is too important of a skill for you not to have, and you can't be reliant on someone else always being on your team to do this for you, because people come and go. You will not come and go from your own team. So you can rely on yourself to be that person. And I believe it is a great investment to get better at that because, one, it really models for others that this is the brand of leadership that you subscribe to. And 2, it just has all the benefits that we were talking about before, which is people interact better, they hear better, they implement the best ideas. It's a much better run team when you have more pro-social behavior, and as a result, the performance becomes higher. So make it a priority to skill up in this area, whether you're a leader or not, if you are not there yet. If you don't have anyone to talk to about it, let me know. I love talking about this stuff. So to close, our illusion today was that everyone on the team has to agree in order to be successful. The reality is you need people on the team, and sometimes one person is the key, who leads by getting everyone to work better together, listen to each other's ideas, agree on a path forward, and then keep moving forward instead of looping back, literally or figuratively. When you can join or lead a team of highly passionate, creative, and smart people who all bring something to the mix and are able to harness that, you get the best performance. But if you can't harness that, or you think it's impossible, you end up with a team of clones who may all agree and work well together, but not reach their full potential because they don't know as much collectively as a more diverse team. If you're interested in the book Hidden Potential, it's got lots of great other stories and research and ideas you can implement. I will include an affiliate link in the show notes. If you like the show, please follow us on Spotify. It really helps that you're a follower. And before we wrap, one quick thing. If this episode resonated, I think you'll find this useful. I created an audiobook called Unlock Your Charisma. It breaks down what's actually going on when people get attention, access, and credit, and how to do it without pretending to be someone you're not. If you've ever felt people were not listening to you, even when you were delivering real value, this gives you a different way to approach it. You can find Unlock Your Charisma on Audible, Amazon, or at connectioncounselor.com. Thanks for listening to No More Illusions. I'm Joe Kwon, the Connection Counselor. Remember, clarity reveals, illusion steals.